It's now it is live streamed.
Yes,
It is
sir.
there? Okay, you can
Yes,
see.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
This
Thank you,
Zoom,
Prabhuji.
I will blur my background. Or okay, now there is no problem. Yes. Okay, now let me share my screen again. We can go. Yeah. So yeah, Mataji, I will continue now. So there are two more questions, but thank you, Mataji. Thank you. It's very important. Devotees get an opportunity, and Raksha Mataji is so dear. Hare Krishna, Raksha Mataji. Welcome to the session. So we'll go through that next two set of questions, which is explain the process of Karma Yoga, verse 41, and then in 4 verses, Sri Avirotra, he responds. He teaches about karma, vikarma, akarma. We hear about that in Bhagavad Gita, so we'll try to see that parallel and what is described in summary in these verses and then verses of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So Prabhuji has put these updated new slides. And then the next question is explain the process of karma. Sorry, where am I? Sorry, so first question is explain the transcendental situation of the Lord. So here in Sri Pippalana will respond and he will mention about, wait, I'm lost here. Yeah, sorry, I was right here. Explain the process of Karma Yoga, responded by Abhiratra, and then, okay, why am I so confused? Yeah, okay, explain, sorry, no, I'm correct. So 334 is the first one. Explain the transcendental situation of Lord Narayan. So here Sri Pipalan will respond. He will mention about the situation of the Lord Narayan. He described that, and then he will describe shortly about the soul, how is it suffering in the material world, and how can he relieve himself through bhakti. And then second question is explain the whole process of karma yoga. So here Sri Virhotra, he describes about karma, vikarma, akarma, and then pure devotional service. In the end, he describes about the DT service as well. So we'll go through that. So the whole, and then in chapter 4 and 5, there are further questions which will be taken, I think, by Sir Prabhu over the next session. So with this, we come to today's class. So starting with, let's see, the screen is covered. So yeah. Okay. Now let me do this full screen. Okay. I hope you all can see.
Yes, yes.
But I did the wrong one. Sorry. Yeah, no, it is correct. No, it is correct. Okay. Yes. So verses 34 to 40, Sri Pipalana will respond to the question of King Nemi, which is explain about the transcendental situation of the law. The question is, what is the transcendental situation? So here again, how Prabhuji has put, what are the key themes here? The reason for choosing those themes and the philosophical significance. So we'll go one by one, and then we'll see which texts speak about that, possible correlation from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, where we can pull out, and then go to the theme. So here, Sri Pipalana answers to the question that he says that the Lord Narayan, he is transcendental and he is absolute truth. He mentions further things which we have covered earlier also in different sessions, that the Lord is indescribable by anyone because he's beyond the material mode. He cannot be actually described even by the Vedas. However, they do their best, and he can be revealed only by his mercy or through the mercy of his devotees. The Lord is cause of creation, maintenance, destruction. However, he has no prior cause. Right? He is causeless, right? He's a karana karanam, right? And neither through the faculties of mind, speech, or any other, like even like Lord Brahma says in one, like even if someone goes at the speed of the mind throughout this whole universe and all, still they will get a part of it. And then in Bhagavad Gita, how Lord says that this material universe is 1/4 and the spiritual universe is 3/4, and all of them are under his control. Aham sarvasya prabhao mata sarvam. So both the material and the spiritual universe. They come from the Lord, they emanate from the Lord, yet he is different. And he is the maintainer and sustainer, maintainer, and also he keeps on recreating again and again. And we have covered in the past class. Why so? So that everyone gets an opportunity to, like at least we embodied Jiva, the Jivatma in this material world, we get the opportunity to correct ourselves, make the right choice, and go back to God. So, elaborating on this theme, as mentioned by Prabhuji, this theme is very, very important because we have to understand who the Lord is, how He is beyond, and how He is existing or expanding in the manifestation of Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan. Right? So that Prabhuji often quotes that verse, Brahmeti, Paramatmaeti, Bhagwaneti, Shabdeti. So, like Srila Prabhupada gives example about the sun god, that some we see only the sun ray, the ray coming through the window, sun ray, or we can see the whole sunlight, that's the next level. And then we can study the sun globe, that is next level, level 2. That's equate to Paramatma. And then Bhagwan is meeting the deity, the sun god himself. Like we cannot do that, but the devtas, the other devtas, they can go and meet sun god in person, and we can read through scriptures how sun god himself. So that way, same Srila Prabhupada explains the Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan, right? So this theme is very, very central, and it powerfully highlights the elevated ontological status. Ontological means the existence or status of Lord Narayan beyond this material realm, and also many philosophies we went through, they think of it as impersonal, and that's what we will study more in other aspects in coming of Govind Vasha and other aspects, that how he is not impersonal but he is pure personal, and his personal nature of divinity, not just his personal, but he is interested, invested in us. So all we have to do is we have to show that uh, interest, that okay, my dear Lord, I am interested, please free me up, and then Krishna will make the arrangements. So this is about transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. And so many wonderful shlokas from Bhagavad Gita here, how he says that the Prakriti works under him, Prakriti Kriya Manani, and that's that's our understanding. But he also said that the whole Prakriti is under direction. It is very difficult to surpass, but through his mercy, then this whole becomes like a the whole samsar sagar becomes like a water under footprint of a small calf. So that's what is explained about the transcendental. That's only the mercy of the Lord. Then Chaitanya Charitamrita also says, we hear from that again and again, Srila Prabhupada quote, that Ekila Ishvara Krishna, and everyone, like he is the only Lord, and everyone else is Bharta or the servant. So the way Prabhuji explained us in the when we went through the Sandarbha, like how Jiva Goswami, he first established the superiority of Vishnu, right? And then he says, or Narayan, like Vishnu or Narayan. And then he says, Narayan is not different from Krishna, and also actually is emanation of Krishna, and Krishna is the supreme God. So that's what is established here. So although the text here says the situation of Lord Narayan, but through Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srila Prabhupada, we understand that Narayan is expansion of the Lord, the fourth, like third, fourth expansion. Actually, the Supreme Lord we know personal is Lord Krishna. Okay, so that is about this this part, and then we go through the next theme here in these verses, the role of bhakti. So as I said, between verses 34 to 40 in response, it is interesting that this uh, Goswamis or all the devotees, they don't respond only one aspect, they give a holistic view. So the question, while is only about Lord Narayan, it is not like Lord Narayan is only one God staying alone somewhere. When we talk about Narayan or the God, it covers all the aspect. It covers the Lord, the devotees of the Lord, the paraphernalia of the Lord, the whole creation of the Lord. So it comes as a whole package. So also we are part of it, right? So that is very good to know that we are part of it. We are part of that Lord, that creation, the Lord Himself, and He is close with us, interested in us, and invested. So the role of the devotion or bhakti, right? So here it is mentioned like how through the bhakti we can purify the Lord and then we can unveil the deeper spiritual aspect. So these texts they profoundly articulate the genuine devotional service to Supreme Lord. It purifies the heart and unveils. So the wonderful verses are quoted here in the purport. The verses in Canto 1, Chapter 2, right? From the initial stages till the prema, how the Lord purifies the heart, nashta prayashu abhiteshu. So, Lord in the heart sits as Paramatma. He sanctions the desire, whatever we have, based on our eligibility and all. However, when we say, no, dear Lord, I want to serve you, then Lord makes that quickly available. And then as we engage more and more, then He purifies us and He shows us the light. He sends spiritual master. He sends devotees. He makes arrangement for us, like despite like where we are, He makes it available. So that is the reciprocation. So this is people may ask that, okay, you are doing devotion, but is the Lord reciprocating? You're telling a Lord that Lord is personal and all, but is He reciprocating? Yes, this is how it is. He's arranging devotees. He's giving us opportunity to chant. He's giving us opportunity to read. So many literature are there. So this is His reciprocation, and while performing this, we get that bliss. That bliss, inspires us to go deeper and deeper and continue on this path. So that is where this theme, as Prabhuji says, is very important because it provides a very clear roadmap from initial Shraddha to the Prema. The whole roadmap is there with us, right? Um, and then some references from this text. What Srila Pipalana says that simply by unalloyed devotion to Lord Narayan, one can develop that perfect faith and he can reach his goal. And then through that, one should seriously engage in this devotion service, fix the like by fixing what is the how do we engage in the devotional service by the program given to us by our Acharya, which is Srila Prabhupada. He has given us this wonderful program. He always says that follow this path. It's very clear. Chant your rounds. There are do's and don'ts, and also very clear and important part is engage in scrutinizingly reading the literature, which is what we are doing under the direction of our Siksha Gurus here, Char Prabhu and Sat Prabhu. So that's what we should continue with our whole heart. So thank you for that opportunity here. Then from Bhagavad Gita, what we hear, Krishna says in chapter 8 and chapter 18 also, Man Mana Bhav Madbhakta. How we do that, this devotion? Continuously think of the Lord. Now, it is not possible, at least for me, to continuously all time think of the Lord, but it will start by this, that at least that dedicated time which I am supposed to do, am I doing that? So I will do that. How sincere, seriously I'm doing that, and then eventually it can expand to multiple times throughout the day till the time it reaches like every hour, every minute. So gradually it will reach there. But for now, there is certain commitment we have given, right? This we discussed last time. There is a particular commitment that we have given. So depending on our situation, we should at least commit to that, to our best, and then Lord will gradually purify and clear. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna says that Brahmanda Brahmite Puno Bhagavat Ji Guru Krishna Prasad Paye. So that means we are very, very fortunate that we got this process, we got this understanding. So we should not uh, take this very lightly. Right? We should not think, oh, we always feel guilty. Oh, I cannot do, I cannot do. Then that takes us into depressing mode. We should not be. We should always have that enthusiasm to perform our devotional service as given the path. So it won't be easy. There will be hiccups, there will be problems, there will be time always. We might feel doubtful, we might compare, oh, it's so far. Yes, that all is there, it's true, but the Lord is there with us and He will guide us through that. So that is the important role of devotion. What takeaway for us? It will purify the heart. Only in the purified heart can we understand the previous question, the transcendental role of the Lord. And it is not one day task, it is a continuous gradual project. It will happen eventually. So then that's how we do uh, chart our path across. So that is the role of devotion. Then Sri Pipalana also explains here illusion and reality. That means it is also important to understand because King Nimi here represents us. So he has explained the position of Lord Narayan, which is Krishna. He has explained the role of devotion. It is also important to know what is the illusion and what is the reality. Right? Why? Because this form of Maya or illusory energy, it diverts us from the actual essence. So once we know what is wrong and how to refrain, at least theoretically, then gradually we can get away, and we keep on praying. Then the Lord will arrange the situation in such a way that we are fully engaged. Eventually, we might feel, oh, Lord, like when Lord is very merciful, He takes away all the distraction, all the connections which we actually aspire for in the material world, which are actually Dukhalem Ashasam. They are temporary, ephemeral here, as Prabhuji said, they are ephemeral, and they are like a dry desert. Like the analogy Prabhuji has given, it's like a water or mirage of water in the desert. So that's how they are. There is a big misunderstanding we have and hope we have, which I have as well, very, very large extent, that there is happiness in this material world. And that's how we try to pull that out, that happiness through different ways. But actually, that's a mirage. The only possible happiness is serving the Lord, hearing Bhagavatam, hearing Bhagavad Gita, and being with the devotees. That is the only happiness. And that's where Krishna says, right? Mama Maya Durate means if you take shelter of me, then you can cross out. Again he says that, right? And then, yeah, we covered that the material world is Dukhalem Ashaswatam, and then how in Canto 3 it explained when Lord Brahma does the creation, he imbibes that false ego. He plugs in that false ego during the creation. So we should not take that lightly. We should have a clear understanding of what illusion is. And then here, as Shruti says, we should acknowledge one's true identity beyond the material labels. Right? The upadhi and all should go away, and we should understand that we are the servants of the Lord, part and parcel of the. So why it is important? Because it imports crucial lesson that discerning means categorizing illusory material nature. Illusory nature of the material realm is essential for spiritual progress and journey back to eternal spiritual. So whenever you will hear Srila Prabhupada lecture, he goes on repeating again and again and again the fact that we are not this body, but we are spirit, we are not this body. That's because uh, still it's at the theoretical level. Once we have that practical grasp of it, then then the whole thing is down. That's where the immediately we'll get that manifestation of ruchi nishtha that will come. Right now that's not coming because a lot of asat sangha is there, and then lot of what is that the lot of those aparadhs and all that are there, misgivings are there. So that is blocking us. That is causing the illusion. More and more we practice devotional service, more and more we realize we get detachment from the body, as we covered last time, right? What Krishna says, Arjun says, oh, it's so difficult to follow this. But Krishna says, okay, through abhyas and vairagya, right? Through abhyas and vairagya, then you will get this control of the mind, which is very important. So how we get vairagya? By serving the devotees. They give us this taste of the bhakti, and from that we get vairagya or detachment from this material world. The more vairagya we get, then we get interest in doing abhyasa, means our sadhana. Then more sadhana we do, we get more vairagya. So that cycle propels, and that should continue to the stage where we fully engage in abhyas or devotional activity and totally detached. Okay. Then Sri Pipalayana also explains about the nature of the soul, the jiva. Right? What is the nature of the soul? It's again important to know. We know the nature of the Lord. We know about His creation, the material, the spiritual creation. Okay, we are part and parcel, but how are we? So he explains in the verses how this soul actually is part and parcel of the Lord, very pure, but because of the illusion, because of uh, nature to enjoy independently, then he goes through these different cycles. He explains very clearly there that, the soul, like what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that this soul, as a soul, it's never born, never it dies, right? It is always pure and it exists everywhere. It can exist everywhere. And it can be born, it takes this body and it can be into many species like embryo or the different categories he explains very, very elaborately over there. Uh, and then how it enters the body. However, he's never alone. The super soul is always there. Because of the presence of the super soul, all the bodily senses are activated, and then this soul can enjoy or suffer the causes of the previous reaction. And it also gets this opportunity to understand and go away. So all this is very, very important to understand, because if we have a misconception that, okay, this life is all in all, and then we fall trap, okay, let's enjoy to the fullest and all. No, that is not correct. We own, the karma is there. The spirit soul is covered by this Sukshma Sarir, Mano Buddhi Ahankar, in which everything is recorded based on the past experience and based on the current actions we take, we'll get the future body. And that's why it's important to know the soul is eternal and immutable, right? Uh, and then Krishna gives us infinite chances. To some, those who are not elevated, this might be a shock sort of thing, or not so happy. Oh, that means eternally I have to suffer, because actually the taste of this material world is suffering. But no, there is this just a little bit of association and kirtan and katha, that gives us so much pleasure. So our actual existence is Satchit Anand. So that Anand or bliss we experience to some extent when we fully transcend this physical existence, as Prabhuji says here, then we can, how we can do that? By countering this materialistic view, and then we can have this reassurance and a comfort that, no, 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 this our actual nature is Satchidananda. Right now we are in the wrong path. Once we know, then we will be able to achieve that pure Ananda or pure bliss. Right? So yes, yes, I think related verses we covered. In Bhagavatam, there is a discussion of how the spirit soul in the womb of the mother, he suffers, how the embryo to the body is formed. So there is very elaborate discussion Srila Prabhupada gives, and that's there in the other sections of Bhagavatam as well. However, that's the body the soul gets, and the different um, forms he goes through in that particular body, but soul as itself is Satchidanand, right? As we went through. And Sri Krishna, he explains in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2 as well. Okay, continuing further, then Srila Prabhupada explains the process of realization. Now, what does this realization means? The realization is again very nicely explained. Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan. Sambandha is our relationship with the Lord, right? We are part and parcel of it. Abhideya is the process of this devotional service. Prayojan is the ultimate goal, that we are part and parcel of the Lord, and then we suffer Him, that we serve Him. Sorry, sorry, we serve Him. That is our eternal. That's what Lord Chaitanya also says, right? Like Nityam, this is our Nityam Bhagavad Seva, right? So this process, it destroys that impure desire, right? And then the heart becomes purified. That's what Sri Pipalana says. And then how and when? It is not like one time reading, one time hearing will do enough. Because we are in this situation, we have to keep on repeating and hear that again and again and again, right? Just like it is said, Srila Prabhupada gives that example, right? The person suffering from jaundice loses the taste for sweet. Then how does it develop? Then he eats sweet continuously again, then gradually he develops, right? Along with that, there is the faith in the Guru Sadhu Shastra that also increases. And then along with that, our faith. So This important part that will also come again here is faith in the Guru, Sadhu Shastra, the whole disciplic succession, Tad Vidhi Pranipatan. So we surrender to the Guru, we serve the Guru, and how do we surrender? We serve the Guru and we ask question. Not the question like how to become rich materially. No. How can I make progress in the spiritual path? What am I doing wrong? Why is it that I'm not able to concentrate? What can I do to be more consistent? So that are the kind of question. And then Guru, knowing you very well, being Guru being the representative of the Lord, Krishna himself, he knows you very well. He knows your situation. So through him, Krishna will guide and tell you, okay, this is good for you. This is not good. You should make this pattern change. And then that will help you. And that really helps. That helps a lot. So that's there. So through this text, as we go through, there is a transformative path to realizing the Supreme through heartfelt devotion, and there will be guiding the practitioner in surrendering the divine and embracing the dedicated devotional practice. Okay, and this whole methodology is very, very practical. It is timeless, and it will here it is it represents the profound metamorphosis. What is metamorphosis? Is like how the small embryo it becomes that big butterfly, the transformation or transition. So we have this small Bhakti Lata beach that is a taste in hearing and chanting and associating or reading that we have to nurture so that it transforms into the pure prayer. And that will happen. All we need to do is continue in this process, have that faith, and do not waver away, even if we get sidetracked little, but come back quickly. Right. So all this does happen.
And that coming back is helped by Sadhu Sangha.
Yes, yes. That's why it is very important to have this Sangha and the devotees who, when we get sidetracked, then they quickly tell, oh, you're going off track, please come back, Prabhu Mataji. Then we have to be humble enough to hear that and adapt to that. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, then the next part, this is the final part from Sri Prabhu, the interconnectedness of all being. So why is though this part important? Because as Krishna says, right, in Bhagavad Gita, that he is like the thread in the mala, right? So we are all like the pearls, and he is the central thread. So he is that here as a Paramatma, the binding person. He's that binding everyone. So that is why we said last time, right? If we perform any specifically Vaishnava Aparadh, for example, well, even we hurt or offend anybody through mind, body, right? Actual to both ही हो गया, but even through mind, that also, then Paramatma in that heart, Krishna in the heart of that person does not like that. He curses us. He corrects us. If we are devotee, then we should quickly correct that, right? Krishna will guide us that, okay. And that's why sometimes I definitely feel, I think that if we have ill feeling for someone, or if we say something wrong to someone, then quickly Krishna makes us that revision. It reminds me of a pastime of Jiva Goswami, where he was not able to find taste in chanting, right? And then his elder brother, he tells him, okay, what happened? So he approaches his elder brother for guidance that I'm not getting the same taste I did. So then he says, okay, you must have offended a sadhu or someone. So then I think you all know that. So then they put a proper process how to find that person. Actually, it was not Jiva Goswami's fault. It was he did not intend to offend him, but the person get offended. But then finally he goes and seeks forgiveness, and then he gets satisfied. So that is that exalted personality. Even they do that, then that becomes a problem. So we are at a stage where we commit a lot of offenses unknowingly and unwantedly. So we have to take the shelter of Guru Sadhu and also take direction from the Lord. Lord as Paramatma sitting in the heart definitely guide us. So that is the important of this interconnectedness. And then again and again, Krishna says that he likes more the people or devotees who serve the devotee of his devotee, right? So that is why we have to understand this interconnectedness. And then also the third important point here is Lord Chaitanya, he says about Sankirtan movement. Sankirtan means together we have to do kirtan. Together we have to do this, like this conduct this session, and we have to have respect for each other and guide each other. Only then that will what make Krishna very happy, right? So that's what again repeating again what Sri Prahlada said, that there is one Lord and He is super soul of everyone. Like the same Paramatma in your heart, same Paramatma, there is all expansion of Krishna. Okay, and then we also study like Shirodakshai, Karnodakshai, Vishnu. So those we have that segregation, and then Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? I think chapter 15 or somewhere that I am seated in everyone's heart, and I direct that living entity. So we have to be very very careful about having ill feelings about everyone, right? And that Vaishnava Prad, if that ill feeling is towards a Vaishnava, that it's like a mad elephant. So that is the importance, as I understand, of this interconnected of all beings. In the end, as Prabhuji says, it inspires deep compassion and respect for all living entities, encouraging an acknowledgement of their shared divine origin and sacred purpose. Shared divine origin, right? So we come from the same source and we all have a sacred purpose. What is that? Through the journey we all individual have, ultimately we have to get back and be reinstated in the state of serving the Lord. So we have to help each other. If we cannot, that's fine. At least stay neutral and don't offend anyone, right? Right. So we continue. Yes. Okay. So these were the purports of Bhakti Vedanta purports from our Srila Prabhupada's book. Also, Prabhuji has nice. Oh, sorry. Okay, there's two more themes. Sorry. Okay, I thought this ended. So then, limitations of material knowledge. So that's another theme here. So the theme here, Srila Prabhupada is saying is that this material knowledge is inadequate and it will never get us to the real understanding of Lord. So he says that neither mind nor speech are capable of expressing about the Lord, right? And also mere logic cannot explain and it cannot get us to that, right? Because why so? Because as we have discussed many times, you all are advanced devotees, that we are limited because we have these different fault, like we have these four propensities. We have propensity to cheat, we have limitation. I think there is this listed. So that's why we cannot, through these senses, we cannot directly understand. However, when these senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, then they become tuned and they become transformed into spiritual, and then that's how we can understand the Lord, right? So there's that beautiful verse. Prabhuji always quotes what's that, about the senses, the same senses which are engaged in the material activities. When they become engaged in the bhakti, then they become receptive to the knowledge of the divine, right? So that's how it is. And also, I think, Prabhuji, you have that uh, thesis you're working on, right? Where how the bhakti, they transform our genetic code or DNA code so that we can become receptive, right? So that's also there. And Prabhupada uses the word dovetailing. So dovetailing the experience and our work of the senses with the central theme of the Lord, then we can understand the Lord very well, okay? Or get deeper into. And then, okay, so that is the limitation of the material knowledge. And then final theme here, eternal relationship with the Supreme. So that means again, our relationship with the Supreme is timeless, right? We were always and will be part of Him, right? We are never separated from Him. It's only because of illusion we think that we are separated. So why this theme is important? Because it reminds us of deep personal and relational nature of the Lord. And that way, when we realize that the Lord is everywhere with us, then one, we feel always faith and reassuring. And two, whenever, even if we want to commit an offense or sinful activity, then if we really get that feeling of the Lord is here watching me, then we will not do that, right? That will go far, far away. Of course, as practicing devotees, I think we don't want to, but sometimes if we feel sidetracked, then then the Lord. This sort of feeling can help, is what is mentioned by Sri Pipilana. So it emphasizes crucial role of love and devotion in the pursuit of spiritual fulfillment, guiding the practitioners, which is us, the sadhak, toward a richer, more meaningful connection with the divine. Okay, reinforcing the value and integral role on this sacred journey. Okay, and then like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, right, Mama eva vamsho jivaloki, right? So we are part and parcel. So that is coming from directly from the Lord Himself, right? Okay. So overall, in conclusion, these thematic elements, they provide a comprehensive understanding of what are the few things we heard: the nature of the Supreme Lord, the soul, which is us, Jivatma, and then the path to spiritual realization. And then they help us, to understand or empower or deepen our devotional teachings, like imbibe this devotional teaching found in Bhagavatam, and we prioritize the personal relationship with divine over the impersonal philosophical interpretation. So that's what we have to be very, very careful about. But I think reaching over this personal state, we will probably never find any interest in the impersonal. But yeah, we have to be very careful. We cannot be super confident. We can be only confident about the mercy we get from the devotees that will protect us. Okay. Yeah. So these complete the commentary or themes as mentioned in the Bhagavatam, right? Now about Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So he comments on these verses as well. And as Prabhuji says, they delve into the essence of the Supreme Lord Narayan and the concept of Brahman, and intricate relationship between the soul, which is Jiva, and the Supreme, right? So let's see what is the difference here. We covered transcendental nature of Lord Narayan. We covered that, how Sri Pipalana explains, and from the Bhagavatam perspective. Here, the additional part which Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur adds and stresses upon is that the Lord is always unaffected by the whole working of this material. So, example I will give, right? There is always a question that come. I mentioned this, like I heard this, some person asking, "Oh, okay, your Lord is everywhere. So is he in the stool or some garbage area? Is he there?" Oh, yes, he is there, but he is unaffected by that. He is transcendental. He is everywhere. Right? We get affected by that because we are in this. We, as in our material body, gets affected because we are in that illusion. We are deeply connected. That's why it affects us, but there is no difference to the Lord, right? And he is like Bhava Grahi Janardhan. So that's why what we offer him, whether it is rich, poor, right, it's elaborate or little, he just says Patram Pushpam Phalam to him, right? But one can offer him elaborate as well, like 52 times a day. And he is happy with both because he just accepts the bhava, right? He accepts that. So that's the point that is being made here by Vishwanath Chakravarti. And then Brahman as the absolute reality. So he mentions two clear points that the Brahman, or actually the spiritual reality, is beautiful and cannot be described in the word. The word uses ineffable. Is like very, very beautiful and attractive, and he is portrayed as ultimate unchanging essence that underlying all creation. So that's what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur stresses on, and overall he concludes that this authentic knowledge of Brahman is not acquired only through intellectual pursuits, but it is revealed through devoted practices that purify the heart. So through this devotional practice that purify heart and mind, then as we know, we become receptive to that knowledge. Satyam Sanjayate Jnanam, right? Prabhuji has said so many times, and then we can understand deeply. Again, the nature of Jiva or soul, I think we covered that. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur continues that explanation, how the soul, as explained in Bhagavad Gita, is eternal Satchidanand, and then how it suffers here, it is changeless, but it's suffering here because of illusion. So when the Jiva empowers, uh, recognizing the eternal nature of Jiva, empowers the devotees to detach from the material entanglements, nurturing a profound yearning for spiritual realization and unity with the Supreme. So That is why it is important to understand our nature, and that will help us to walk on this path. And then again, the next theme, bhakti as part to realization. Bhakti, right? So, what is the importance of bhakti? The key point I found here is devotion is indispensable. Means, like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur covers the similar points we have mentioned, like how bhakti purifies. However, the stressing point over here is it is indispensable, means there is no alternative, right? As we saw even in karma yoga, jnana yoga, and other path, if they don't conclude to the devotion of the Lord, then it is व्यर्थ, right? It's useless. However, if by some means or other, if we come to the part of the devotion of the Lord, then that is the best part. So devotion is indispensable, and by the mercy of the Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, and this wonderful uh, beauty or the work that Srila Prabhupada has done, I don't know how much, like we can never, of course, repay to him, and it will be only illusion, but we should be always eternally grateful to him, how much he has put for us, these wonderful books he has given, which we are reading, and we are getting illuminated, and we are getting clear guidance of about bhakti in this age of Kali Yuga, when there is so much of chaos around, right? Interconnectedness of all beings. Here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur adds that this creates a sense of reverence and responsibility, right? So that's what we should understand that, and we should take that responsibility to be respectful to everyone. Right? Okay. Finally, he also, there's additional part, the role of the material nature of the gunas. So he also explained, which is explained by Sri Kripalayana as well, like how the material nature acts through Sattva, Raja, Tamo, the three gunas, the influence of them, and then how we get trapped into it. However, when we take shelter of Krishna's, Lord Krishna's devotion, then we are able to transcend that guna, and then it's not like they stop working, but we become immune to them. They don't act on that level. The level to which we surrender or perform devotion, to that extent, the extent to which we do that, to that extent, they don't affect us. Right? So that's the conclusion. So these thematic elements collectively forge a compelling framework. So framework means the whole, structure there for understanding the divine, the soul which we are, the path of devotion, guiding the practitioner toward deeper, more profound spiritual realization anchored in personal relationship with Lord Narayan. Right. So that stops here. Let's take a 30-second or 1-minute break and see if there are any further thoughts here. Krishna. Okay, otherwise I will continue. Okay.
Continue, bro.
Yes, bro. Okay. So then the next set of verses 41 to 55. Think I'm running short of time, right? 8:53. Okay. Let's see. This is long.
You
41 to
summarize.
55.
You can summarize,
Yes. Yes.
10
So
points.
here in these verses 41 to 55, the question here, the King Nimi, he asked is, explain the process of Karma Yoga and how it frees us, right? So that's the question. And then in the response, how Sri Abhidhotra, he summarizes about the process of, he clarifies about karma, vikarma, akarma. So that I think we all know very well, so I will not repeat that part. And then he also ends up with a very deep and elaborate process of deity worship, like how we can perform deity worship. He gives that process, and through that we establish the connection. Like Srila Prabhupada stresses so many times that the deity or the Archa Vigraha here, we should not consider it to be a material manifestation. It is expansion of the Lord, like because we cannot see him, right? The Lord is so merciful that he expands himself through the certain processes through which we can see and we can establish the relation by serving him. The deity just stands at the home in our temple or in our sanctified area to receive service from us, to take service from us and uplift us in our Bhagavatam. I think I mentioned last time also there was always some question that like we have seen that our temples and all they get destroyed. So some atheists they question, oh, what kind of deities or Lord you have? He does not protect himself. Uh, no, he is able to protect, but in the form of deity, that's not the job description there. The job description of Lord over there, if he wants, he can. He can even walk as a Sakshi Gopal. We have seen that. If he wants, he can protect. But the key job description over there is to attract the devotees and accept their service and elevate. And he creates that bhava. The Lord creates that bhava that we become elevated so that we think of the Lord as dependent on us, just like in Vrindavan, how the sentiment of the devotees is, the exalted devotees like Mother Yashoda, is that if I don't feed Krishna, then Krishna will die. Right? That's the sentiment. Or they have this extreme protective feeling for the Lord. So that same kind of feeling, the Lord gives us opportunity to nurture that through the process of TT service. That's what is explained by Sri Abhirhotra in these verses. So we'll go through this quickly. So okay, distinction between karma, vikarma, karma. I think we know that from Bhagavad Gita. So let's go to that. Authority of Vedic knowledge. So here it's like Tadvidi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Seva, and that's mentioned. And just like Lord Krishna says to Arjun in Bhagavad Gita that I am giving you this knowledge because it's lost, so he reestablishes that authority. So it is very, very important that we receive the knowledge from the correct disciplic succession. Srila Prabhupada has warned us again and again that if we drink the milk, which, like he gives example, which has even a drop of poison, that also become poisonous. So that's why we should be very careful and we should be only focused on, what we are receiving through a proper a bona fide succession and hearing from a bona fide speaker. Otherwise, it will not help us. Role of spiritual master, which is a guru. Now we have Diksha Guru, Siksha Guru, right? And Guru Sadhu Shastra. It is important. It is a bona fide spiritual. In the previous class, we covered in the verses who is a spiritual master, what are the qualities, that also we covered. So they were there. That was clarified in the first section of this chapter. So they will give us indirect persuasion in Vedic instruction. So for those who cannot directly take to this path, the Lord is very, very merciful. He also has the indirect reference here. But that's again for those who cannot take this, like here the example is given, the child who is sick, right? Then the father has to give the medicine to that child. He gives it through a candy. But that is not the intent to give that sweet or candy to the child. So the Vedic language is very flowery, as Krishna says, but that is not the intent to give the material gains to the seeker. But the main intent is to uh, have him surrender to the Lord through that practice. So some people who cannot take directly, there is the indirect path which is given, but we should not get diverted to that. Nature of deity worship, I covered that. What is the role of deity? And Sri Piplan Avirotra has given the detailed way how to perform the deity worship. I would really request and encourage you all to read that and see how much you can do. Holistic understanding of the worship. So it culminates in a powerful call to acknowledge omnipresence. That's the Paramatma is everywhere of the Supreme Lord in all elements of the nature, encouraging a seamless integration of worship in daily life. In conclusion, all these thematic elements paint a vivid, transformative picture of Karma Yoga and the significance of Vedic wisdom and personal nature of the God, guiding the practitioner toward profound spiritual learning. So these were from the Bhakti Vedanta purpose. Let's quickly go through the Vaishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments as well. Again, they are similar here. Karma Yoga as path to liberation, authority of Vedic knowledge. That's also, we covered that. Indirect guidance we covered, role of spiritual teacher, integration of bhakti in karma yoga. Yeah, I think this was a different or additional part which is being given here. Like even if we are doing, that's like chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita, right? Like for those who cannot fully surrender, then go in the gradual stages, right? You perform karma, offer the results. If not, like we did that in the Bhakti Prakhar course, anyway, we should do that. That every evening we go to the Lord, and finally we offer the praise that whatever I did was for your service and for your pleasure. Please kindly accept and correct me. Right? And then inner worship and self-realization. So we have to be introspective, and that's what definitely will uh, will uplift us. And so we should take time throughout the day, or through the week, or whatever cadence works for us, to introspect what we did, what we where we have to improve. That does not apply just to spiritual, even for the material one, right? So if we have to improve, then we have to do that and work on that, seeking guidance from our seniors and authority. Right? Okay, I think that I could complete in time, so let me stop here. Yeah.
Excellent, Prabhuji, excellent.
Sorry.
Yeah, really obliged to you.
Thank you, Prabhu. These are
So
all your
very, very,
theories.
really, really excellently you presented. I'm really
Sure.
impressed.
Thank you.
You brought the life to my PowerPoints.
Yes. So I apologize. I would have to go away for 15-20 minutes. I will finish that call and come back. So Sir Prabhu
No
kindly
problem.
volunteered to take the questions, and maybe Nityasaki Mataji, you may do the recap if you're okay. And then 9:30 I will be back.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thanks.
Nityasaki Mataji, you can start with the recap, and after that again he will join. But we are here for the question and answer.
Prabhuji, can you give me a few minutes? I'll be right back, okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. In the time she is getting ready, I'll just cover this other aspect which was covered at the end. Just a second. Anything रखी दिया The point was Parokshabad, what was spoken, that is given. I'll just explain this a little by the time Nityasaki Mataji joins in. You have heard in Bhagavad Gita, it says Traigunya Vishaya Veda. And the Vedas, they also offer fruitive results within the three modes of material nature. And those who perform ritualistic practices, ritualistic ceremonies, or austerities in the mode of goodness, they are offered the chance for promotion to higher planetary system, that is the Swargaloka. But they are, you know, after they have finished their punya, they come back to the material world. And similarly, those who perform karma kanda or fruitive religious activities in the mode of passion, they are allowed to become great rulers or wealthy men on the earth and enjoy great prestige and earthly power. And in the Manu Samhita, it is given that although fruitive activities are very much popular among the conditioned souls, the actual perfection of life is achieved when one gives up all fruitive endeavor, that is karma kanda. That has to be understood by us. It is not that they have to be followed. Like some time back, we discussed in Buddhism how when Lord Buddha came, at that time people were following the Vedas, following Karma Kanda, but they were giving importance to animal killing, but that also is the wrong way. That was what was misinterpretation of the Vedas. Now we know that since the great majority of conditioned souls are now addicted to sense gratification or the Prabhuti Marg, the Vedic Karmakanda rituals, they offer them a chance to become free from temporary the materialistic sense gratification by making them greedy for fruitive Vedic results. This has to be understood. And because of this, what is happening? We are getting involved in this the process of taking birth in the 84 lakh life forms. And that has to be understood by all of us. So this is what is the meaning of all those things we are studying. And now Nityasaji Mataji had logged in. Let us go into and see the recap of the last lesson, that is lesson 146.
Krishna, then Rampage, am I audible?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
Mataji.
Yeah, we are going through uh, Advanced Srimad Bhagavatam course, and we are going through Canto 11 and lesson 3, chapter 3 from Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is about Nimi Maharaj and his interactions, question and answer session with Nav Yogendras. And the chapter is titled as Liberation from the Illusory Energy. So, the lesson 146 covered about how the questions those were asked with how one can get liberated. So, initially the questions were asked amongst Nav Yogendras, Kavi, Hari, etc. And now it is a question which has been asked by Nimi Maharaj to Sri Prabhupada, how even a materialist can transcend Maya's influence. So that is required for liberation. And so here one can see how one can transcend Maya devotion. So, yeah, here one can see that Nimi Maharaj himself is Videha, is from Ishwaku dynasty, but still he's asking uh, for the conditioned soul like us, isn't it? So it it plays the value for all of us, the answers for these particular questions. And so, can anyone narrate about how devotional service it can help so as to transcend us through Maya? how bhakti is so illuminating.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Raj.
The through devotional service means through bhakti, the devotees totally surrendering to God, and he's engaged in fully pure devotional services. So in this way, the individual comes out of the grip of the Maya. Um, he uh, he understands, he recognizes that Maya gives suffering, and so there is no anand, no bliss in this material world, and only the devotional service, pure service to God, can give that fulfillment and that satisfaction to his soul. That's why.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Devotional service or bhakti gives
Yeah.
the confidence in profound truth, and it breaks the chains of ignorance and material bondage. That
Yes.
is how a person is elevated.
Yes. So it's not only an exclusive domain, yeah, spiritual realization. So it it releases one from the shackles of ignorance and material bondage, and awakes all of us for the spiritual journey. And yes, it can be attained through very sweet, that is surrender to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So, as it releases us from the material entanglements, so how the futility of material pursuits they are mentioned here. So, can anyone elaborate? So, there are elaborate purports given by Srila Prabhupada as per Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and all. Yes,
So,
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna Mataji. That
yes,
can I,
material
Prabhupada.
person is
before we
temporary.
go, sorry, before we
Before,
go, proceed, before we go from this question was very important. How devotional service protects us from the illusory potency, illusory influence of Maya. Um, the, the main point is that when we engage ourselves in devotional service, what it does, that very act reconnects with Krishna. And as we get connected with Krishna, we turn our face towards Him. Maya cannot influence us. Only Maya can influence only when we take ourselves away from Krishna, then Maya affects us. So devotional service reconnects us uh, back to Krishna, So that's why then Maya would not affect us. Because Maya is actually, it's a thankless job. She's actually serving the Lord to make sure that we turn towards Him. Haribol.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
Vaiji, thank you so much.
Yes,
Go ahead, continue, Mataji.
yeah. So,
Sorry about interruption.
no, Prabhuji. Yeah, you're always welcome for all of us.
Thank you.
Yeah, so how futile is the material world and the pursuits? Can anyone focus?
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji. This material pursuits, material things, positions, play, and this all these relationships, all this gives very temporary happiness. And after the temporary happiness, the person becomes dissatisfied totally, and he feels so much grief, distress, that, and when he engages in the service of God, he finds permanent happiness, and he feels that it is useless, all this material happiness. So in other way, there is some benefit also of this. We can say this futility of the material pursuits increase the devotion to God. One becomes very much attracted towards the service of the God. So there is no bliss in this material world.
Good point, Benji. God that you are there.
Thank you, Vaiji. This all this is due to you and all other devotees, Sarad Pradeep.
It's all sadhu sangha, you know. We are all together.
Yeah, that's
We
also
are in
good.
the same
Yes.
boat. Okay, continue.
Yeah, it was so nicely elaborated by His Grace Sanjeev Prabhuji in the session also. And yes, we can unplug ourselves from material world and plug ourselves towards the devotional service. And yeah, everything it has been temporary in this world, and what is permanent is the spiritual life. So that will go with us, and it will be carried forward as the asset for all of us. So the first 2 points we discussed about. Then the third point is in this devotional journey, one needs to have the hand and the mercy of the spiritual master, who is the bona fide one. So why spiritual master is needed so as to lead on this sadhana bhakti path?
May I go? Because I want to give some other,
Hare
other
Krishna
people.
Mataji.
Yes,
Bona
okay.
fide spiritual master is a direct representative of Lord Krishna, and he knows all about the Shastras. He is very expert in Shastras. He can guide us, he can take our bhaishes and guide us to have a spiritual path.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Guru gives us Shastra Chakshu so that we can
Ajnanatimandasya Jnananjana Salakaya
Chakshurunmitam
Tasmaina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes. So in Bhakti Yoga, so what is the role of devotional activities? Like,
Unconditional surrender, unconditional surrendership,
yeah,
Saranagati
Sharanagati.
is the
So,
most important thing in Bhakti Yoga.
so for this Bhagavad Dharma, so unconditional surrender, no? Sharanagati to Lord is the foremost. It's of foremost importance, so that we can grow in our spiritual lives, and the love towards Lord, it can be awakened. So,
We,
so Bhakti
we
Yoga.
should always do a loving devotional service, and we should always engage ourselves in commitment towards Lord Krishna.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mataji. The next, the fifth theme is the nature of real happiness. And so these are from the verse 17 to 33 we are going through. So how one can liberate ourselves from the shackles of Maya Devi. And so it is the nature of real happiness. So what real happiness? It has been narrated over here. In short, anyone can elaborate?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Real happiness comes out by loving devotion to Krishna, by loving, you can say by doing service to Krishna, by pure bhakti. Then that is real happiness. Rather than these material pursuits give temporary happiness only. So and the real happiness, we can say, all other happiness, all material happiness are very temporary, and this only the happiness which comes out of the service to Lord and pure devotion, which comes out from bhakti, this is real happiness, we can say.
And also, Mataji, while doing the devotional service, we feel the spiritual ecstasy, like crying or talking with Lord Krishna, and feeling his hunger and his bliss. So, in that way, we also enjoy the real happiness.
We get rasa and full blissful soul.
Yeah, one can relish. No, we can uh, reciprocate accordingly. So that has been possible in the devotional service while we do surrender towards Lord Krishna. So, what is the role of community and congregation, and when one is associated with devotees? So,
In
why
community,
community?
Mataji, we get support from other devotees and we learn from senior devotees. We also share with our lacunas and get guidance from them. And in this way, we can do Sankirtana also in a congregational Sankirtana is more important according to Srila Prabhupada. In that way, community is very helpful for our upliftment in devotional pathway.
Yeah. Yes, so nice, Mataji. So, role of being associated with the devotees. Yeah. So, million times that real happiness, it gets so many manifolds, So, it has been so glorious also. So as to discuss on Nama, Rupa, Gun and Leelas of Lord Krishna with them rather than just speaking. Prabhuji has also said in last lecture, the devotees, when they do come together in congregation, they don't discuss what are the rates of gold and what are the rates of silver and saris, but they do take the pleasure about discussing the Lord's pastimes. So that's nourishes our spiritual, what you can say, the test. And yes, bhakti it supports, and this communal practice is very important for the mutual support and collective engagement, and it empowers the individuals and transcends us so as to deepen our devotion. About
What is that?
Shiva.
What is that verse that gives us that ruchi for hearing Krishna Katha? It is important verse from Bhagavatam. Do you remember? Shushrusa Sadadhanasya Vasudev Katha Ruchi.
Ruchi,
Yeah, that verse. Go ahead, continue.
yeah. About Sharanagati, can anyone highlight about with respect to the seventh point, the concept of surrender?
Totally samarpit to God. Totally. Every time, at every point, he seeks the guidance of God. He he thinks only and only to God, no other one.
So that means man, vachan, and karma, all three ways,
Yes, bhai.
And another very important thing about this Saranagati, when one surrenders with his mind, body, words, belief, everything, then very interesting thing takes place. All his past karmas, they get nullified. Only what
Bhakti Vinod Thakur goes in much deeper in the course that we did, Jaiva Dharma. There are 6 important elements there. We don't have to go all these things right now, but I'm just to remember that. If you don't remember, you can go back. That 6 important elements of Sharanagati is there.
Sarvidha Saranagati, that the Rupa Goswami, he also tells. I'll tell you. But here, please remember, all our sins will get destroyed just by undergoing Saranagati. Saranagati under whom? Under the spiritual master. And as we know, spiritual master, he connects us to the Supreme Lord. That's why we are not talking of Saranagati of Krishna directly. When does Saranagati at the time of initiation, that time within 1 year of that, all the past karmas, that is Sanchit karmas, they all get nullified. And Kriyaman, because of Saranagati, the devotee, he does not commit any more sin. And that's how he gets saved. And what remains? only remains prarabdha. But prarabdha also, to quite an extent, there are various opinions of various acharyas. But overall, what I have understood, most of it will get nullified by the mercy of the Lord. But something, some portion we have to undergo. And that is what is the greatness of Saranagati. And Saranagati, and we do not actually discuss much in other sampradayas, but in Sri Sampradaya, for them Saranagati is most important. And a lot of acharyas in their tradition, they have got their books on this Saranagati. And we are talking, what do you mean by Saranagati? What constitutes Saranagati? Or what are the components of Saranagati? Anybody can tell? There are 6 Sadvidha Saranagati, what Prabhuji was saying. Anyone? Sadvidha Saranagati, there are 6 6 portions or 6 points in that. Anyone remember such a Raksha Mataji is not there, otherwise she would have told you the sloka. Oh, okay, Mataji, you just complete, then at the end I will tell you.
तो जो वो शौचम तपस्तितिक्षम वो that one shloka.
No. I'll just remember. Okay, you just go on. That anukulyena sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam. Rakshayishyati viswasa goptrute varanam tatha. Atma nikshepe karpanya sarvidha saranagati. First, the 6 the classifications, they are accepting those things which are favorable for discharge of devotional service. In very broad terms, he is saying this. Accepting anything which is favorable to the devotional service and rejecting those which are unfavorable. Rejecting those things or practices that are not favorable for devotional service. Number 2. Number 3 is having faith that Krishna will certainly protect me. This is very, very important. We many a times we keep on saying this, but from our heart of hearts we do not believe this. If we just believe this, that if I get into trouble any time, then the Krishna will certainly protect me under all circumstances. Then you will see the Supreme Lord protecting you physically, personally, and you can feel it. And the 4th one is having knowledge that Krishna is my maintainer. Krishna is my boss. I am his servant. My job is to serve him. My job is to keep him happy. Then the 5th thing is surrendering one's very self. We should surrender ourselves unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And last is Saranagati. Humility. As it has been discussed many times, the biggest quality in a devotee is humility. One should be very, very humble in behaving with others and talking with others, or especially dealing with the senior, not only senior persons, but even equals, and one should not commit any aparadha. That is very, very important in this path of Saranagati. That's why what is most important, I said, believing that Krishna is our boss, he is our everything, and I depend on him, he is mine, and I am his. These simple things, if we can internalize, if we can have faith from within, then we will be benefited, and there should be no doubt about it. Okay, Mataji, you can carry on.
Yeah, so nice, Roji. Yeah, faith is the front door for oneself, the one who is going to surrender. And it is so nice point, and that one can establish sambandha with Lord, like Radha Govindji is the sambandha deity in our sampradaya. So one can establish the relation and accordingly can reciprocate in devotional service also. So nice point, Prabhuji. And we do see that in the next point, eighth point, that is missing, no, in Sayujya and in Brahma Jyoti. So there is no such sambandha which gets established. And so there is a lakvina. So the one who is trying to get liberated on this path. So it is incomplete cycle, you see. And yes, our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, it has been so great. And so it is based on philosophy of Achintya Bhedabhed Tattva, which has been introduced by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the idea that, okay, so one has to establish relationship with the Lord Supreme, and that has been possible through faith and surrender in this devotional service. So thank you, Prabhuji. So nice connection you established today in discussion. So Bhakti Yoga is the central teaching of all this philosophy, directly or indirectly, if you see, and it is a rich heritage in understanding devotional service, the nature of reality, and which is the sole aim of life, a loving eternal relationship with Lord Krishna through Anukul Bhakti, the favorable devotion. The next is about the nature of Maya and its overcoming. So, yes, Maya, it is a formidable force for those who lack self-discipline, yet they reveal that even those misled by material desires can rise above it through sincere bhakti. So, um, it has been taught here, and it underscores that the bhakti, it has got the transformative power and asserts that spiritual awakening is within reach, and even for those initially mired in spiritual ignorance. So here is explained the nature of happiness. So how the material life, the material possession, they are so fleeting, and devotional path, there lies the true happiness. Then the third, we have seen the role of the spiritual master, that is Guru, and Guru Shishya Parampara. On that, our philosophy it is based, and it has been so genuine that Bhakti path cannot flourish in solitude, and the guidance of an enlightened teacher is vital for navigating the spiritual landscape. So the importance of Guru, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodam Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udaropastha Vegam, Etana Veganayo Vishedhiraha, Sarvam Apimam, Prithvi Se Shiksha. The one can become a Guru if the as per alignment, as per the Upadeshamrut. Then sadhana, the role of the Guru is given and mentioned that it is so vital and important. Then the community and association with devotees. Here we do see that the congregational chanting, Sankirtan movement, uh, every town and village, Ere Dekh Tarak Hai Krishna Upadesh, Amar Hari Taran Desh. So, Tare. So likewise, we can see that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has introduced this Sankirtan movement, and it is the basis and foundation of our philosophy. Then transcendent love, that point about prema. So, to achieve prema, the anurag and love towards Lord Krishna, and one can experience the ecstatic feelings, and that shows the emotional resonance. And yes, it culminates with various elements which illustrates the desired outcome of practices which have been discussed, and is the pinnacle. Love for is the pinnacle of realization. And so it is such an intellectual understanding. The seventh point is the unending quest or the unquenchable thirst for spiritual knowledge from Guru Sadhu Shastra. So, as Nimi Maharaj, um, so as to seek enlightenment coupled with Sri Antariksha's insights, underscores the importance of learning from those who have attained realization of the self and supreme personality of Godhead. So all these yogikas are the liberated souls, and uh, uh, Maharaj Ni was asking questions to them about this, and the quest for knowledge stands as a cornerstone of spiritual progress, affirming that true understanding arises from enlightened dialogue and heartfelt devotion. And so, the ultimate manifestation is the bhakti, and the nature of, so as to understand the nature of supreme personality of Godhead. So likewise, we have learned like how one can transcend maya through devotion, the futility of material pursuits, the critical importance of a bona fide spiritual master, the role of various devotional activities whatever we do in our daily endeavors, the nature of real happiness, and the role of community and congregation and association with devotees, Sharanagati, and the illusion of separatedness. That is how, as compared to Brahma Jyoti and Sayuja Mukti, this path it will lead for the devotional service. Then about Maya is the illusory energy and how it can be overcome by following Bhakti mark, and what is real happiness and what is the nature of happiness. It has been discussed, and the role of a spiritual master on this particular path, why is so significant, and how is this devotional practice that has been sadhana, as it is told by Sri Rup Goswami, uh, because we are on this Rupanuga Sampradaya, and it has been introduced by Sri Rup Goswami, and the role of association with devotee, and it leads to the prema. So likewise, we have studied in this lesson 146 from verses 17 to 33. And yes, today's session Sanjeev Prabhuji has taken. It was more elaborate, as Nimi Maharaj was hopeful so as to work on this karma path. So he, just like we do see on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna asked questions to Lord Krishna. Similarly, Nimi Maharaj has asked about this karma yoga, how it is, and so many questions they were answered in today's session. So it was the slight discussion we went through, and it is the detachment and renunciation. Um, these are not the object, but but of the rooted attachments that bind the soul to the material realm. So one should get detached. So one remains in the material world, but can be detached and follow religion by anchoring with the spiritual life. So Bhakti Yoga is the only ultimate solution for our upliftment from the shackles of this Maya Devi, and it really connects us to reinforce the profound message of all these texts, that the transformative might of unwavering devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this was about the 16th lesson, recap session. So thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. I think most of the devotees have logged off. Okay, any question regarding today's class? Okay, I hope you have understood when we are talking about the greatness of Narayana. Now, here basically what it means, Narayana means Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whatever anybody believes, like in the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, we believe Krishna Stu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the originator. In some other sampradaya, like Sri Sampradaya, they talk of Narayana only. Narayana is the head, and all others, including Krishna, have emanated from him. But here, what went through in the class, that means it is the Supreme Lord Himself. Otherwise, what is the hierarchy? Hierarchy, what we hear in given in the Sandarbha, Lord Krishna, from him his first expansion is Balrama. And from Balrama, the Chaturvyuha, the first Chaturvyuha, that is Vasudeva Sankarsana Pradyumna Aniruddha. And from the first expansion Sankarsana comes Narayana. And from Narayana comes the second Chaturvyuha, that is the Pradyumna Aniruddha Sankarsana, those four. And from Sankarsana comes the Karandaskay Vishnu, all the three Vishnus. Like this is what is the system. And now Sanjay Prabhuji has come. If you have got any question regarding today's class, you may ask.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, Prabhu.
Any question or comments regarding today's class?
Or please add if you have something more to share.
Yes,
I'm very glad that discussion period is improving very, very dramatically. You can see the effectiveness also, right?
yes, Prabhuji.
Today we have very small gathering, only about 5 or 6 people are, 5 of us are there.
Yes.
Okay, probably because of time, you know.
Yeah, I think Friday evening, like for Prasad Prabhu and
Yeah.
others, it's a working day.
Exactly, yeah. Archana Mataji is probably working too, I guess.
Home actually.
She's from, oh, you're there. Okay, Prasad. Sorry. See, and then
Yeah, yeah.
Archana
Eastern
Mataji is
Prabhu.
Singapore, right? So it will be 1 a.m. for her. Isn't it?
Probably, yeah, I guess it's too
She's
late.
from Singapore, right? Archana
Yes,
Mataji.
correct. She's in Singapore.
Yeah, so it's probably midnight.
It
Very
should
late.
It's
midnight.
12. Yeah, it's midnight 12 there now. So
Yes.
It's night time, Prabhuji. I think it is there 12 o'clock.
12. Yeah.
Yes.
Midnight.
Yes,
Okay,
midnight.
continue. Prabhuji? For you also, Prabhuji, Sanjeev Prabhuji, you had to work from office. That's really something, you know,
No, that's
how much
okay.
you must have been doing.
It's okay.
Yeah, I feel very sorry for you, you know.
No, I don't want to miss this. That's the point.
I don't want you to get into trouble, okay, with your office.
No, that's fine.
Okay, what's further now? Are we almost done now? 15 minutes, right?
Yes, probably almost everything we have covered.
Maybe you can, both of you can just give final touches. Sanjeev, you wanted to say something?
No, Prabhu, I think it was, it's a very inspiring and interesting section of Bhagavatam like this, where it's a very, very compact
It's a whole entire
chapter.
teachings of,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really incredible, you know. And in my thesis, it is going to hold probably a whole chapter, you know, I'll be talking about, because
Yeah.
how